Oh, Mary Sue. We have to check in with the Mary freaking Sue. Thank you very much. Hello everyone, I am Mecha Random 42, the one, the only, the original, your favorite YouTube consumer advocate, Harpy. Sorry for being lit differently and in an undisclosed location temporarily, very temporarily. We gotta talk a little. Oh, it gets better. Queen of Twitter, Gail Simone, reminds us the real Star Wars Mary Sue was Luke. Are you kidding me? Luke freaking Skywalker. They're really going. They're really still. You can't just let people have their fun with the Mandalorian. No. You can't just let people have a nice time enjoying the Mandalorian because we had a really fun, exciting time for Star Wars. Just as it doesn't fix everything. It doesn't change the fact that Star Wars is still borked and broken beyond belief. Let's see what their little article has to say. And yes, I'm reading off the tablet just temporarily until I get my setup. But we'll see what we can do about adding in some little effects. And oh, they might need the writing crop or the theme music. We'll see. Usually the Mary Sue gets a rant. We'll see. I have not read this article yet, but I know Gail Simone doesn't like me. And, it's fine. It's fine to not like me. But if you guys do like me, please like, subscribe, share. I really appreciate it. Every like gets a thank you from the bottom of my heart. Who wrote this? Jessica Mason. Okay, Jessica Mason is, I believe, the opera singer from Seattle. I think she's that one. I believe all these Mary Sue writers are so similar. Queen of Twitter, Gail Simone, reminds us of the real Star Wars. Or the real Star Wars Mary Sue was Luke. No. We hear the Mary Sue know a lot about, well, Mary Sues. But they're not Mary Sues. They're just a bunch of unlikable, mean-spirited women who dislike and are mean and mad about everything and want to blame you because you have a tallywhacker instead of a hoo-ha. We're trying to censor it until, 3 minutes in, I can probably start swearing. And we might. This is a Mary Sue article. I'm trying my best here. And so, when the internet discourse went off today about who in the Star Wars universe is a real Mary Sue, it was sort of like a bat signal for us. or is it the virtue signal? That's what it might be. And it came thanks to someone with her own bat credentials, legendary comics writer and master fandom troll, Gail Simone. Well, like I said, Gail Simone doesn't like me very much. She's one of those women. If you don't know who Gail Simone is, she kind of, I can never tell her apart from Sally Struthers, for one thing. And I believe she has something to do with comics, the little ones, those. I think she writes them or something. She's got a how-to for children, for like kindergartners on YouTube, I believe. That's all I've really seen of her, really. So that's my only recollection of who this woman really is, because the comics I read were Archie and EC Horror when I was a kid. But I'm weird like that, and we all know that. That's why you're here, because I'm weird. I'm the weird one who's gonna tell you like it is, right? Gail Simone. Now, if we wanted to, we could devote a weekly, maybe even daily column to how Gail Simone broke the internet this time, and still not fully do justice to the beautiful chaos that is Simone's Twitter feed. Whether it's shaming Cyclops or insisting that Brits make their tea in the microwave, we can always rely on Simone to make the jokes no one else would think of. Usually one that whiny fanboys don't quite get. No, it's usually the ones at the expense of your dedicated customer base that you're supposed to be selling a product to. Gail Simone, okay? That's your customer base. You know what? Treat them with a little more respect. Just get, if I dislike something that my fan base likes, I try to be a little more respectful, and I'm not blaming them for liking him. That's certainly not their problem if they like or even dislike something. What is the problem there? No. She just has a problem with people liking things that she's supposed to produce because she has this attitude, like a lot of these women, that man and bad and Ree and wham, because reasons. That's this whole SJW mentality, and that's why he's so terrible. But when it comes to her opinions on Luke Skywalker, her humorously delivered opinion is totally correct. No, it's not. First off, no, it's not. He was just a good guy who he just wanted to be the hero. He was kind of like, he wasn't even a Mary Sue. He wasn't perfect. He didn't succeed all the time. I mean, come on, look at his training when he was training with Yoda in Empire freaking Strikes Back. He didn't succeed all the time. But at least he trained, and without training, you're kind of nothing, right? Mark Hamill says he got the Luke Skywalker role by copying George Lucas's exact mannerisms, but sure, Rey is a Mary Sue if it makes you happy. Yeah, Reee. How is that mean to Mary Sue? And of course, people popped out of the woodwork to tell Simone she was wrong and started raging on Ray because men. Oh, I'll rage on Ray too. Guess what? I bet half these people are women. They're probably women I know quite well. These are probably women I'm friends with in the Fandom Menace. Here. Case in point, Gail Simone tweets. Is your writing as bad as your general knowledge? As someone who claims to be a writer, you should know what a Mary Sue / Gary Stu is. What it is not, a character that copies the creator's mannerisms. What it is what Ray is. Yeah. Why did I start reading that snotty? That was just somebody responding to her online. She's a common as fuck archetype, the chosen one, a category as which at least 3 other previous Star Wars characters also belong. This stuff isn't complicated. Well, yeah, which is why you don't do it again and again and again and again. Because it gets old and then you start to kind of write yourself into a corner, so you got to keep upping the ante and you got to keep increasing their powers. Just see how that works, Gail. And henceforth, they make her a Mary Sue. That's what they do. They don't understand that, and that is the biggest problem. But the thing is, Gail is absolutely right. No, she's not. I mean, seriously, George Lucas has created Luke S. in his own image. He's Lucas's adventure avatar. Succeeds magically because he's a chosen one through even though his sister is 100 times more competent, and is the hero because the narrative says so. That's pretty on point for a Mary Sue. Now, that's not to say Luke isn't great, but if the Sue fits, wear it. And we love and support Mary Sue's around these parts. Oh, so you had to defend it like Mary Sue's a good thing, you know? It's like how Snowflake and safe space were supposed to be. Oh, but they're owning it. Yeah. I'm the only one who gets away with that. That's why I call myself a harpy, because that was something that somebody called me once, and I just said, you know what, I'll stick with it. I don't care. And of course, then she goes on to say, he's the Mary Sue of all Mary Sues. I don't care, and neither should anyone. I still love him. So why do you just need attention that bad? She might just need attention that bad. See, Luke is not necessarily a Mary Sue sort of character. He actually just went from, and it was a little bit generic, but not at the time so much. Not at the time, and that's why it was so refreshing, because it was something that a lot of people could identify with and relate to, and not in the, oh, I need to see myself on screen because they look like me and they got my parts. No, or they have the same alphabet letter that I do. Who cares? That's the least important part about your personality. Move on, grow up, grow a personality, and get a life. Get over yourselves. I mean, let's look where Luke goes after the original trilogy. He takes on too much responsibility and is eventually attacked by a member of the Order he created. And if that isn't a metaphor for Lucas going into the prequels and after, then I don't know what is. But what Simone's trolling and the what about Ray whining really points out is that calling someone a Mary Sue often ends up showing the sexism of the person making that declaration. It has nothing to do with what's between her. It's because it's boring. It's a boring character to keep seeing over and over and over again. Luke still wasn't a Mary Sue. He didn't just have everything. He wasn't and that's like I said. They kept stepping up these superpowers with these characters to where they are superheroes. They have nowhere else to go because they don't know what else to write. And that's what they ended up doing with Reee. She is basically a fucking superhero. Remember, the only difference between classically character and Mary Sue is the character's a dude. That's not true, though. That is absolutely not true. And anybody who tells you otherwise is just a feminist trying to get back at daddy because they're mad that they have to work for a living. That is the whole reason for these women's existence. And you know it, and I know it, and everybody knows it. That's the only reason why these women make these sort of arguments. That's why they make these sort of tweets, is because they want attention and they want to just say, see, men are bad because they tried to correct me. Yeah, and that's kind of a wrong attitude. That's a wrong, especially if you're somebody selling something like a comic book to a large consumer base that are male. Because you see how that works. You know, you see how that works, where people just don't quite get what they're saying is going to just antagonize the people that they're trying to make like them. Don't just antagonize people, please, please.
Wank.
Star Wars is a silly space opera, which we forget sometimes, and Luke Skywalker is a drama queen who is a pretty transparent, self-insert character for the author who wanted to take part in a pulpy B-movie adventures he loved as a kid. It's the fanfic. Yeah, but he made it for himself, too. You're not... Okay, here's the difference, too. Here's another difference. And because those points are correct, that does not make his character a Mary Sue, though. But those points are because he was a nobody, pretty much. He only had, what, a couple of movies under his belt. He was still an up-and-coming person, and he made a movie for himself, and people related, and people loved that. It wasn't this McDonaldization garbage tier crap like we get from modern-day Star Wars, where they say, oh, well, we need this demographic, and we need to look and get this focus group and story group and all these people because we need this diversity and this thing so you can identify with and you see yourself on screen. Because they realized that that's what people were doing. They were identifying with these characters, and they're so messed up in the head, and they're so weird and wrong in the way they think that people identify with characters for the superficial bullshit on the outside or what's in between their legs or what label that they are. And if I weren't actually blocked by Miss Gail Simone, we might actually be able to see who responded to this. She's the reason why we have the punk rock comic industry right now, all the indie stuff that people are just making themselves. That's the only reason. She is the reason right there. This is why we have the punk rock comic scene. Oh, but Gail Simone. I'm done with this article, I think. So, Gail Simone, you're wrong. Luke really isn't a Mary Sue. It is not just because men bad and people aren't correcting you just because men. I am Mecha Random 42, and I'll see you guys on the next video, live stream, or wherever. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!
Wank.